Hi everyone, Heather here, and I am making this video to explain to you Mercury retrograde. A lot of people don't know what it means or what it does or how it affects them, and sometimes people like to blame it for every single problem in their life, and so I guess I'll be busting a few myths in that sense, and because it does cause a lot of problems, but not every problem in your life is going to be caused by it. I don't know if I'll get into the shadow period part of it in this video. I don't want to make this video like super long, but I might be able to get into the shadow period. So we'll see. I made notes, okay, because this retrograde is all about communication, and this video is a form of communication. So I wrote a couple of pages of notes of the facts about Mercury retrograde, the dates, etc., etc. Okay, so let's get started, I guess. First of all, Mercury retrograde happens approximately 3 times a year, okay? And we already went through one. It was the 30th of January through the 20th of February. Done. We don't need to talk about that. But let's talk about this Mercury retrograde that we are currently in right now. It is probably the worst Mercury retrograde that we've had in years. And why, you ask? Because it started the 29th of May and it goes through the 22nd of June, which means it is basically the entirety of Gemini season. Gemini is the communication astrological zodiac sign, okay? It is ruled by Mercury. So currently we on Earth are in Gemini. It's Gemini season. But here's the kicker. Mercury is also in Gemini during this retrograde. Now, typically when a planet is best, it's called being at home, okay? And Mercury is at home in Gemini, but it's retrograde. So, not so great. So anyways, the 3 dates were, like I said, 30th of January through the 20th of February, 29 May through 22 June, and the 27th of September through the 17th of October will be the next upcoming one for 2021, okay? So, let's see. Mercury is the planet that rules communication. It also is at home in Gemini. It rules Gemini. Gemini is the sign of communication. They're the ones that are like boisterous and fun and talkative and etc., right? So they're also very impulsive. Mercury is an impulsive planet, okay? And so what we need to watch out for, every sign, doesn't matter what your sun sign is or where Mercury is placed in your chart, okay, your Mercury placements, everyone can expect to have almost impulsive behavior, okay, that you're probably going to regret later, all right? You might make bad choices and just do it impulsively and then go, crap, Additionally, this will affect everyone's communication. And communication means these videos, text messages, your DMs, listening to people and being able to hear what they have to say, writing, reading, speaking. It'll affect negotiations. It'll affect contracts. It'll affect travel. So you might experience travel delays, travel cancellations. It might affect your automobile travel, train travel, boat travel, air travel. Okay. It could affect shipping and mail. It can affect that. Your packages might get misplaced or your letters might get misplaced. They might get lost in the mail or delayed. So be very careful with that type of thing. If you have to send stuff, try to get tracking, etc., etc. Because there are certain things that we can do to we won't negate the effects of Mercury retrograde, but we can help it not affect us so darn much. Do you know what I mean? Another thing is when anything is in retrograde, people come back into our lives, especially Mercury retrograde. You might have an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend or lover, partner come back into your life. That's my computer. She speaks French to me. And there we go with the communication. So where was I? Oh yeah, people might come back into your life and then be gone when Mercury retrograde is done. And you might be like, oh, I'm going to get back together with my ex and da-da-da-da-da. And then the next thing you know, they're out. And you're like, oh, what? You know what I mean? You might get ghosted by somebody you really like. All kinds of communication mishaps, okay? And so, what was I going to say? I don't know if I told you guys this because, of course, communication, but I did take notes and jot down my thoughts, my ideas, the facts that I know so that I don't lose my train of thought. So anyways, it says, to help every single sun sign needs to know that they need to be flexible. They need to be patient. They need to be understanding during a Mercury retrograde period, okay? Because things are going to be wacky. Like I said, allow extra time for travel. You know what? Call up and double check your reservations, hotel reservations, etc., because they could get canceled just randomly. You never know. Oh, another thing, avoid signing any contracts, signing a lease on an apartment, signing a home to purchase or sell, you know, buying a new car, signing a work contract, things like that. If you can help it, wait until after Mercury retrograde is over. It's a good time to look at the contracts. It might not be a good time to necessarily negotiate the contract, but you can like look it over and kind of get the feel for what you're being offered. But I would be very wary of signing the contract or like negotiating certain things, because the negotiation parts, it's not a matter of, you know, if you know you want $100,000 a year in a job or whatever, I'm just using a round number. Negotiating that isn't the problem because you know what you want. It's that you might not get it during this period of time. People might be like standing their ground and are like, no, honey, you are not getting this $100,000 or whatever, right? So negotiations are going to be wackadoodle. Oh, you want to avoid starting any new relationships because they will end as quickly as they started, especially in this impulsive sign. So, you know, if you have your ex coming back into your life, you're like, oh, I'm going to get with them. You will, but it won't last, unfortunately. You want to double check your emails before you send them. You want to double check your texts before you send them, because you may misspell words and look funny or say the wrong thing or end up sending it to the wrong person, you know, and you can end up getting yourself in trouble. Okay, so let's see, what else did I put? Oh, you'll want to review your projects and your plans. So if you have plans that you've made prior to Mercury retrograde, double check them. If you're making plans during Mercury retrograde, I would be very cautious, okay, of that. I probably would avoid making plans if possible. But if you can't avoid it, if it can't be avoided, double, triple, quadruple check your plans, okay? Like if you can, wait until Mercury is direct again before you make any final decisions on anything, all right? Oh, another thing. And here's a big deal. People are probably going to have shorter fuses during this time period. They might snap at you. They might be angry with you for almost virtually no reason. And you're like, the heck is going on? You know, I didn't do anything wrong. And so, yeah, so expect people to maybe blow up at you, or that you might have a shortened temper. And so really, that's why Everyone is advised to kind of be patient and pull back a little bit before they freak out. And if somebody freaks out on you, you might want to be more forgiving than you normally would because of the Mercury retrograde, okay? And like I said, the reason that this one is so intense is because not only are we as earthlings in Gemini season, we're in Gemini, okay? But Mercury is in Gemini. And so you can be prepared. You should prepare yourself for a lot of miscommunication on your part and on other people's part. Okay. You might either get a ton of phone calls over and over and over and over and over, ton of texts, boom, 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 or nothing. You know, it could be all or nothing. Because Gemini is kind of an all or nothing sign, but it can switch back and forth because Geminis are the twins. Okay. You, like I said, you might lose your mail, misplace your mail. Go, where is that bill? I just got it in the mail yesterday. I got to pay it. You know, or your emails that are important go right into spam. So check your spam boxes too. Okay. You might not articulate clearly. Me, I feel like I've repeated myself several times on this video, and I probably have, because I'm like, did I say that? You know, like, woo. A lot of people might gossip about you, or you might gossip about people, because it's a form of negative communication, right? Let's see. Oh yeah. One positive thing is you might reconnect with old friends. But be careful. Be careful of their intentions. Another thing that might happen is you would reconnect with old lovers or old partners. I want you to be very careful of that, because oftentimes these new friends, hello, these old friends and old lovers are here for a reason and not necessarily a good one. And then they'll be out, you know, as soon as Mercury goes direct again, they're like, peace, see ya. You know what I mean? So be very careful. Tread lightly when you're reconnecting with an ex-lover, ex-partner, or an ex-friend. Tread carefully, okay? Remember the reason you guys broke up, whether it was breaking up a friendship or breaking up your relationship. You broke up because it was broken, okay? And it ain't going to be fixed in the Mercury retrograde. Believe you me, okay? So in any case, let me see how it affects each and every single sign, right? So and this is for sun signs, but also you can take it for your Mercury placements. So let me get my notes out on that. Okay, put it up here. So, Aries. We're going to start with Aries. We'll go in zodiac order. Mercury, it's in Gemini. It falls in your communicative third house, okay? So you might have major communication issues. If you can, hold off on any important conversations, all right? You, or tread very lightly in your important conversations, because you're gonna mess it up, you know, or the person you're talking to will. You might have a tendency to exaggerate or manipulate, or the people around you might have a tendency to exaggerate or manipulate. So basically you need to like kind of stay in your integrity, okay, Aries? You need to make sure that you're not going all out and exaggerating, manipulating people, or having really bad miscommunication, okay? Now, Taurus, how this will affect you. So, Taurians are very luxurious, and they love the finer things in life. They love naps. I get it. I'm a Leo, and all the Pisces out there get it. Pisceans love naps too. But for luxurious, beautiful, indulgent Taurus, Mercury is in retrograde in your money house, in your like money zone this time around, okay? So, Taurians, you need to be mindful of your budget. Don't overspend. Don't just like throw the money out the window, you know, blah, 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 blah. Don't make it rain on anybody, honey, because it'll end up raining on your parade when Mercury goes direct again in another month, you know? It'll hit you hard in about a month to 2 months if you went all out and went crazy, all right? Be very intentional with your spending. Make a budget. And a budget isn't a bad thing. Most people are like, I don't want a budget. You know, let me tell you something. I bet you Bill Gates budgets. And he's a bajillionaire, right? Because a budget isn't something that's bad. A budget is good. Either you tell your money where to go, you control your money and you tell it what to do, or your money controls you and it tells you where to go, and it's usually right to hell in a handbasket if you don't properly budget your money and figure stuff out. So that's for Taurians, okay? Kind of make yourself a little to-do list, an Excel, here's my communication, an Excel spreadsheet or a numbers spreadsheet if you're a Mac user. Kind of figure out where you want to place your money and budget yourself. Try to do a budget through this Mercury retrograde and maybe even a month after. And really double and triple check it, okay? So that's for Taurians. Now for my little Geminis, my sweet, sweet Geminis. This is taking place in your sign, and this is in your first house of self, okay? The first house. And then you might feel nostalgic about your past, getting back with old lovers. You might find yourself making the same old mistakes again, like reliving your past, but in a negative manner because it's a retrograde, okay? You might give off mixed signals or get or receive mixed signals from people during this time period, Gemini. You need to be just treading lightly on your communication and what you say to people. You could end up losing really good friends because you say stuff that's, you know, really, quite frankly, rude, that you wouldn't have normally said, that maybe you would have been like, oh God, you know. So think twice about everything. The positive thing for Geminis is some people are going to see opportunities abound and gloss over them. You might even do that yourself, and that's not a positive thing. But what's positive is if you know that can happen and you strike while the opportunity is hot, while the iron is hot, right? Okay, so let's go on to Cancer. Let me get out my Cancer notes. Okay, so Cancer is Mercury is retrograde. Again, sorry for the communication problem. In your 12th house of healing and clandestine things. The 12th house rules that. So you need to figure out if something is over, then it needs to stay over. If something needs to be over, that type of thing. Problematic people may come back into your life. This is especially true for Cancers at the moment. Problematic people that were friends or lovers, etc., may come back into your life. And you need to be wise to that and really, you know, tread lightly with that. This is a really good time for introspection for you because it is in your 12th house. Mercury is in your 12th house. So I would be very, if I were you, I would really look internally at things that you want to improve for yourself, okay? And if you feel stuck in a cycle, this is now the time to observe why and how you're getting stuck in that cycle and how to get out of it and how to, because the 12th house is the last one, then it goes to the first house again. And so you're going to want to have this new start. Hey, that's my handbag. We won't be scratching that, Missy. Kitty, she's so cute. She's adorable, and she has the most beautiful eyes. Nope, don't chew on my, Don't you touch my handbag. I will make you get down. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So be introspective. And if it's time to end some cycles, figure out why they weren't ending or why you keep repeating them. And then make the plan for when Mercury goes to direct to get out of that cycle. Okay. So let's see. Next is Leo, my sign. Okay. So this one falls in our teamwork and technology zones. So, Leos, do not buy new computers. Do not buy new phones or any kind of new technology. You could get a lemon, okay? That includes cars, stuff like that. Don't even order it and then expect it to come on time, okay? You know those microchips that they're having a shortage of? You will be the one that doesn't get the darn computer or the darn PS5 or whatever, okay? What you can do is try to be a peacemaker, okay, Leo? Because you're really good at, like, trying to... Libra's the best at this, but you're good at trying to have peace and happiness and loyalty and love and friendship in your life. We do rule the 5th house, so friendship is very important to us. So what you can do is try to be a peacemaker. Don't be overly critical, hypercritical of people. And really, you know, be very careful with your technology, with your text messages, with your emails, etc. Okay? Oh, Virgo. Oh, wait, hold on. My Virgo papers over here. Okay. Virgo. This is retrograding in your 10th house, which is career advancement and communication house. Okay, so if you, Virgo, are looking to get a new job or advance in your career position, now is the time to, like, assess your master plan and figure out, like, what you need to do. You know, do I need to take more classes? Do I need to take continuing legal education or continuing medical education courses? Do I need to go get my master's or PhD? Do I need to change my major? Do I need to talk to my boss about getting a raise? I would wait till Mercury goes direct to do that. You know, but this is a really good time to assess that master plan. You know, did you get your degree in liberal arts and now you're like, well, what can I do with this? You know, and that type of thing. I hope I didn't offend any liberal arts people. That is not what I was trying to communicate. But this is Mercury retrograde. I'm just saying, like, me, I switched from molecular and cellular biology, which you can't say it now, because communication stuff, but I switched from molecular and cellular biology to dramatic theory, which is basically acting. And that, you know, made me qualified to become a waitress. You know, hello. What can you do with dramatic theory, right? So anyways, what you do, look at your master plan, Virgo, and figure out where you need to adjust your life or what you need to do when Mercury goes direct to propel yourself along that new plan of yours, if you want a new plan. Kind of do some brainstorming, okay, on where you want your career to go, where you want your life to be, where you see yourself in 2 years, in 5 years, and in 10 years, okay? So try to get a new perspective on it, look at it at a new angle, and then when Mercury goes direct again on June 22nd or after the shadow period, which I don't think, this is really going long, I don't think I'm going to talk about the shadow period, but when Mercury goes direct again on June 22nd, that's when you want to jump into action. Don't jump into action just yet, just evaluate, okay, Virgo? So now for Libras. Libras have probably been having a little bit of travel, or will be having a little bit of travel issues, okay? So you need to look at your safety in travel, always double check your plans, always double check your reservations. I mean, I said this for every sign, but for Libra, because of where Mercury is in your houses at the moment, you really can have a problem with travel, okay? So be very careful. Make sure that you check in perfectly on time, that you're early to the airport, that if you're driving, you're very careful. Your insurance is up to date. You want to make sure your insurance is up to date. You want to make sure your car insurance. You just want to be very, very careful, safe, and take extra precautionary steps to ensure this. Okay, Libra? Now for Scorpios. All right. So, Scorpio already has trust issues. I don't want to say it like that. That sounds horrible, but they are the ones that are a little bit more skeptical, and they are like the freaking FBI of the Zodiac, okay? They are like, let me just check this out, and they will find stuff, okay? So they already are a little bit mistrusting. However, the Mercury is retrograding in your 8th house of bonding and joint efforts, which makes you feel like a little bit extra skeptical. Okay, you're going to feel a little bit more skeptical as to what's going on. What is this person's real motivations? So, you also, Scorpios do have a little bit of a tendency to get jealous of things. And this might emphasize the jealousy even more. Okay, so you just really need to be careful. And if somebody does seem shady, if something seems off to you, that's okay to go with your gut instinct. And like I said, wait till Mercury is direct. But also don't like launch into impulsive accusations or like a tirade, you know what I'm saying? Because they might not be, you might see something as shady. In fact, you probably will, because this is in your 8th house. So you will see something as shady when really it's not, when really they're genuine. And you might be like, forget this person, right? They're being shady, and they're actually not. So before you make any before you communicate in a negative manner to people, wait until Mercury goes direct again on June 22nd, because they might not actually be shady or negative or whatever. They might just have a miscommunication themselves because of this Mercury retrograde. Okay, so just be careful. And Scorpio, you're an emotional water sign. You need to really focus on your emotions and be honest with yourself about your feelings, okay? Be truly honest with yourself. Why is my hair sticking up? So annoying. Sorry. Be honest with yourself and be straightforward without being harsh, okay? Don't be harsh to yourself and don't be harsh to anybody else. All right, Scorpio? Sagittarius. Okay. Sagittarius. This might hit your relationship hard, okay? It's moving through your 7th house of partnerships. And so what your advice is to work on any like relationship inequities, okay? If there's something that's going on in your relationship that you've noticed before Mercury went retro, that's what you're going to want to focus on, work on, and try to figure it out, okay? Because if you're seeing something now while Mercury is in retro, it's the retrograde, okay? So Sagittarians can be impulsive too, so you don't want to be like, meh, and freak out when really it was just the retrograde, okay? So you might have relationship problems. You might snap or blow up at your partner, or your partner does that to you. Communication is just going to be scrambled in your partnership relationships, whether that's a business partnership. Well, really, this is going to be your love partnerships mainly, but any kind of partnership relationship, tread very lightly. Oh, I think it was a motorcycle. Tread very lightly on any type of partnerships, but especially your love relationship partnerships, okay? Because you will screw this one up during this retrograde if you're not careful, okay? I mean, you will. Sorry. Capricorn. So we have Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces left. Okay, so Capricorn. It's in your 6th house, which is kind of, I would say, like the detail-oriented house, organizational house, that type of thing. So you're going to want to be very detail-oriented because it could be thrown out the window for you, Capricorn. Okay, be very careful with any emails you send, any text messages you send, anything that has to do with organization or detail-oriented stuff. If your job is very pinpoint, focused, and detail-oriented, Capricorn, I want you to be careful in your job. If your life, your household, any volunteer work you're doing, things like that, you have to focus on the details of that. Tread very lightly, okay? You could, like Capricorns can have your diet and exercise schedule kind of being thrown off as well. So like you might want to do a little bit of food prepping so that you don't, because you might run out of time, you know, during this retrograde over and over and over again and be like, why am I starving to death, you know? So do some food prepping, do a lighter exercise schedule because it can hit you hard this time around for you guys. And you know what? Maybe look on Pinterest for like little life hacks, things like that, because, you know, just things that will help you with your detail orientation and whatnot. Okay, hold on. Let me get my last sheet of paper out because it has Aquarius and Pisces on it. All right. So Aquarius, you may see former flings come right back into your life, even more so than any other sign, okay? Your former lovers, your former partners, whatever. Or you might reach out to them. You might have this overwhelming urge to, like, I don't know, cyber stalk or stalk your ex. Don't do it, okay? You might have to fight the urge to go back into your former lover's life. You might have a dream about them and be like, wow, you know, I really wanted to see Joey and Jane or whatever. You know, I just made up those names, but you might be like, I'm going to reach out to them. Especially watch out for drunk texting, my little Aquarians. Okay, if you are currently involved in a relationship, you might feel like it's kind of getting to the point of like you're hitting a wall with them or something, where it's like, you know, I'm getting stuck in a pattern that I don't, you know, particularly care for. And so I don't want you to make any harsh decisions. Can't talk. Mercury retrograde. What in the world? Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, if you are feeling stuck, if you are feeling like you hit a wall, if you're feeling like you're repeating the same old cycle with your current partner, if you're partnered up, do not jump to any rash conclusions and dump them and be done with it, because come Mercury direct, you're going to really regret it. Also, do not drunk text your ex. Do not try to get back with your ex. If your ex tries to get back with you, don't do it, Aquarius. You are especially vulnerable to this during this particular Mercury retrograde. Okay. And last but not least, our lovely, beautiful Pisces fishies, okay? Oh, poor Pisces. This might make you a bit overly emotional. And okay, hear me out. We know that all water signs rule the emotions, okay? Every one of them, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Hold on. But our Piscean friends, our beautiful fishy friends, are especially emotional. They're like kind of the most emotional of the water signs. And you are going to be extra emotional during this retrograde period. And you might get triggered very easily. And I hate to use that word, I'm triggered. But you might get extra triggered by emotional things. Things that really hurt you in the past could really come out to you. Let's see. Where was it? Where's my paper? Yeah, you might have a tendency to blame others for your emotional non-well-being, you know, your emotional qualms. You might tend to blame others. You might end up getting a fractured relationship if you were currently partnered up, Pisces, because of being overly emotional. Especially, Pisces, if you are partnered with another water sign. So Pisces that are partnered with another water sign need to be especially careful with their emotions and with their other water signs' emotions, Cancer, Scorpio, or another Pisces, because you could just ruin the relationship, okay? And if you are not partnered up, or if you've recently broken up, or if you happen to be partnered with another sign that's not a water sign, so basically any other sign than water, anything that was fractured, this is now the time to work through your emotions. You put on that sad country song, okay? And you cry it out, Pisces, and you meditate and you dream on it, and you can figure out where things went wrong. Don't take any action on it yet, okay? Do not call up your ex, especially if they're a water sign, but do not call up your ex or text them and be like, this is what went wrong, because you're not going to communicate it right. What you do is you think on it internally. Like I said, meditate on it, dream on it, and, you know, play that sad song. It doesn't have to be country, but play that sad song, you know, November Rain or something like that by Guns N' Roses. And you play that and you work through your own emotions and take notes. Put it in your dream journal. Most Pisceans I know have one. So put it in your dream journal or make a dream journal and start writing it down, because once Mercury goes direct again, any of those fractured relationships that have caused you to be overly emotional in the past or make you overly emotional right now, you can fix them once Mercury goes direct, okay? So that is my advice and how it is going to affect each one of these sun signs. And also, if you know where Mercury is in your chart, you can figure it out based on that as well. This is a very long video. It's over 38 minutes, so I'm not going to talk about the shadow period. I am already long-winded during this Mercury retrograde, this communication retrograde. And so I am going to hop off here. And but I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or any comments, please you know, comment down below. Click the subscribe button, click the like button, share this with your friends so that they understand what is going on during this Mercury retrograde and why it is so crazy for everybody. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and you have a great day, and stay safe during this Mercury retrograde. Keep your relationship safe. Keep yourself safe. All right. Love you guys. Bye.